faculty left double angle bracket faculty of food technology right double angle bracket department left double angle bracket technology of food products right double angle bracket discipline left double angle bracket sanitation and hygiene in livestock facilities right double angle bracket lecture 11 left double angle bracket protection of animals during transportation right double angle bracket Есенқұлова Ж Ж Cand. Of Agricultural Science, ASOC. Prof. Lecture Plan. Requirements for loading, unloading, and transportation of animals. 2. Transportation of horses. 3. Documents for the transportation of live cargons. Learning outcomes. 1. Describe the main concepts of the sanitation. 2. Distinguish sanitation requirements. 3. Explain what personnel should know in livestock sanitation and how to apply. Each year, millions of live animals are transported by road, sea, rail and air within, and to or from, the European Union, for a number of reasons, such as slaughter, fattening or breeding. To protect their welfare during those journeys, the EU adopted Regulation 1/2005 on the protection of animals during transport. An evaluation of the regulation showed that, when correctly implemented and enforced, it had a positive impact on the welfare of animals. However, in some areas weaknesses still persist, largely due to insufficient implementation. In light of these conclusions, and bearing in mind its 2012 to 2015 animal welfare strategy, the European Commission developed guidelines for handling animals during transport, to be disseminated and used for training of transport personnel and enforcement agents. Despite these measures, however, in recent years, repeated breaches of the rules, resulting in accidents and severe animal welfare crises, have been highlighted by EU and national control bodies, and by animal welfare organizations. Transportation of animals involves the transportation of any living creatures. Farm animals, fur-bearing and exotic animals, laboratory animals, birds, fish, crayfish, insects and reptiles. The movement of animals is possible using various types of transport. The use of vehicles for the transportation of animals has a number of advantages: fast delivery over a short distance, cost effectiveness, flexible route planning, full control over cargo. According to statistics, 80% of animal transportation is carried out on specialized transport. Long-distance transportation of animal cargo should be carried out only under certain conditions, for example, such as temperature or humidity. In addition, the weight, gender and age of animals are taken into account, so for example, It is impossible to transport small and large animals in one semi-trailer. Smaller ones can simply be crushed. It is advisable to transport same-sex animals. Requirements for loading, unloading, and transportation of animals. Loading, unloading of animals is carried out from loading and unloading platforms using special devices: ladders, overpasses, ramps, bridges, gangways, scaffolding. Their coating should exclude sliding, and to prevent possible injury to animals, side fences are being built. Loading is carried out without beating animals, using firecrackers, feed baits and electric chases to compel. The latter are used only on adult cattle and pigs in the area of the rear parts of the body. It is not allowed to grab and lift animals by the head, horns, ears, limbs. The slope of the ladder, when loading animals, should be no more than 30, and have side fences taking into account the height of the animals. In a vehicle or container, animals are provided with enough space, according to established standards, to assume their natural position, so that they can lie down or get up without harming each other, in order to avoid injury and death. If the animals are on the road for more than 12 hours, they are unloaded every 10 to 12 hours for 3 to 4 hours of rest, feeding and watering. For mammals, the interval between watering should not exceed 14 hours, and between feeding 24 hours. In case of direct deliveries of animals from feedlots, farms, to meat processing plants, slaughterhouses, the distance from the farm to the place of slaughter should not exceed 100 km/h. Speed of vehicles on paved roads is allowed up to 60 km/h, cobblestone and crushed stone up to 40, unpaved up to 25 km/h. The movement of cars should be smooth. In case of illness or death of animals and birds en route, the forwarder is obliged to immediately inform the nearest veterinary institution. Further movement to the destination is allowed only with the permission of the veterinarian who examined the animals, which should be noted in the veterinary certificate. If it is necessary to remove from the vehicle an animal that has fallen ill on the way, or a corpse, the issue should be resolved by a representative of the relevant Roselkosnadze territorial administration, in coordination with the veterinary authority of the subject of the Russian Federation, which determine veterinary and sanitary measures, treatment, referral for slaughter, the procedure for disposal of the corpse. Transportation of horses. Horses are often transported to the venue of the races, so their safety is a matter of special concern. If the transportation is carried out by a truck, its front and side sides are increased to protect from the wind. A log hitching post is installed a meter from the cab. If there are 2 horses, a longitudinal dividing log is also attached. If 4 horses are being transported, they are also separated by a cross log. Horses are placed with their heads in the direction of movement, tied with knots that are easy to untie. Same-sex horses are placed next to each other, and if it is necessary to transport opposite-sex horses, then mares are placed behind stallions. The horses' legs are bandaged, they are put on quilted jackets. In cold weather, they are covered with blankets. Sweaty horses are allowed to cool down. During long trips, the feeding schedule is not violated. Once a day they arrange a stop to warm up the horses. The car is designed to transport 4 horses. The car, which received the index 820,101, is made on the basis of a medium-tonnage Mars 437,143-350 car. The body of the model is divided by a partition with the door into 2 compartments. In the first there is a service staff, and in the second there are animals. Transportation of cattle. Transportation of cows is carried out mainly by road. With a distance of up to 200 kilometers, it is preferable to use .in this case, the time spent on the road is reduced, feed consumption and total transportation costs are reduced. It is forbidden to transport cattle in dump trucks and cars with a metal body. Transportation of cows is possible in non-specialized machines, if they are properly equipped. It is necessary to remove all objects from the car body that can injure animals. The floor of the body should be covered with wooden flooring. The sides are protected by strong boards or shields with a height of at least 1.6 meters. The elongated body is equipped with transverse partitions about a meter high. They will help prevent injuries to animals on ascents and descents, and during sudden braking. In winter, the car body should be covered with a tarpaulin. In the warm season, you can limit yourself to installing a durable wooden shield on the front of the body. This will protect the cattle from the wind. In frosty weather, the floor is covered with a dense layer of straw. With regular use of the car, the body must be constantly cleaned after the flight. If the remaining manure becomes icy, the animals will slide and get injured. According to the existing norms, each cow should have 2 m2 of body area. For the transportation of breeding cattle, the area is increased by 1.5 times. If the road is not long, no more than 2 hours of travel, then horses, adult cattle and heavy young animals are placed in the back. Either longitudinally head first, either transversely head to the sideboard, or in a mixed way. Part of the animals are placed longitudinally, and 1 to 2 heads are placed transversely. Transportation of birds. The transportation of birds is allowed only with the consent and under the supervision of the veterinary service. For the transportation of chickens, strong and light cages with a latticed top and side walls, and an impenetrable bottom are used. in which birds are located per square meter - 30 chickens or 20 medium-weight chickens, and overcompaction leads to the death of the bird. It is undesirable to transport chickens further than 100 kilometers, and the time spent in cages should not exceed 4 to 5 hours. After 6 hours, losses of up to 3.5% are already possible. It is advisable to load chickens into nets with curtained windows. In the semi-darkness they see pulley and are less prone to stress. The cages are installed in the body in such a way that fresh air is provided to each of them. After loading, the shipper must securely secure all the cages from their possible displacement or fall during the movement of the car. Documents for the transportation of live cargoes. Usually there are only 4 of them. This is a waybill, a bill of lading, a veterinary certificate, and a sanitary passport. Veterinary certificate. This document confirms the safety of live cargo for the environment, i.e. live cargo does not contain any infections. This certificate is issued by the Veterinary and Sanitary Service. A sanitary passport is a document for a car and is issued directly by the carrier. Issued by the epidemiological control authorities and guarantees the suitability of the vehicle for the transportation of live cargo. Bibliography. Management and welfare of farmer animals. U4 Animal Welfare Series. Wiley-Blackwell Methods to Analyze Agricultural Commodity Price Volatility, the Production Technology of Functional Food Products from Raw Materials of Plant and Animal Origin. Thank you for your attention. Consultations. Almaty, Reinbeck Ave. 348 Building 2,208.